Did you know that the Brooklyn Bridge has an interesting story? In fact, it bears the traces of a woman. Here is the unknown, both painful and mysterious story of the Brooklyn Bridge. If a technical person, an architect or engineer, has a refined taste and sense of art, they are not just a technical person, but also an artist and can produce magnificent works. That's why we can say that architecture is intertwined with art. In fact, a good architect is also an artist to me. The Brooklyn Bridge is a neo-Gothic fusion of architecture and art. It connects Manhattan and Brooklyn. It is located on the East River. It was opened to service in 1883 after a 13-year adventurous and equally painful process. The construction process is quite interesting and full of mysteries. The exterior of the bridge is magnificent, but its story and the genius of a brave woman make it even more special. The bridge was built to solve the increasing traffic between Brooklyn and Manhattan. Building this bridge was the dream of John A. Roebling, the inventor of the wire cable. John A. Roebling was the owner of the world's largest cable manufacturing company, producing telegraph wires, electric bridge wires, ship and elevator wires. He worked on the design of the bridge from 1865 onwards. He succeeded in winning the construction project of this bridge he dreamed of, but during the determination of the location of the bridge, he had an accident in which his foot was crushed and he died in 1869 after writhing in pain for 2 weeks due to infection. His son, Washington Roebling, was appointed as the chief engineer of the bridge. Washington Roebling took over the project. However, unfortunately, he also got decompression sickness while working underwater for the underwater legs of the bridge and became paralyzed and bedridden. And at this point, a woman's traces begin on the Brooklyn Bridge. Washington's wife, Emily Roebling, fights for her husband not to be taken from her project despite being bedridden, makes a successful lobby and wins. Despite not being an engineer, she takes over the project as an honorary member. Washington Roebling followed and controlled the entire process from his bed, directing his wife and the entire team with his instructions. This continued for 11 years. construction stages of the bridge. Many workers died from decompression sickness or other work accidents. Approximately 27 people died during the construction of the bridge. When it was completed, it was the widest suspension bridge in the world. Its towers were the tallest structures in the U.S. for a few years. The span between the main legs of the bridge over the East River is 1,595 feet. The construction cost of the bridge was $15.1 million US. After all these difficulties, on May 24, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge finally opened with a magnificent opening ceremony. Guess who was the first pedestrian to cross the bridge? Yes, Emily was the first to cross the bridge. After the bridge opened, one day a woman slipped and fell and shouted the bridge is collapsing, in panic. In the ensuing stampede, 12 people died and many were injured in the first years of the bridge. Several suicide attempts took place and unfortunately a few of them were successful. After all this, people began to believe that the bridge was cursed and were afraid to cross it. Rumors also spread that the bridge was not sturdy. It was thought that it was necessary to prove otherwise to the public, and a sturdiness test was organized. The sturdiness test was done with 21 elephants, each weighing 227 pounds. The elephant test worked, and people were convinced of the sturdiness of the bridge, and the bridge began to be used. In its early years, there were wine cellars for rent under the bridge. They closed later in 2006. A shelter was found by workers inspecting the bridge. It is believed that a room full of canned goods, crackers, medicines, blankets, and filled with thousands of pounds of water was built by civil defense organizations in the 1950s against a Soviet attack. Love locks are a must-have for iconic bridges. There are love locks on the Brooklyn Bridge for immortal love. If it's in Paris and Venice, why not in New York? It is unknown whether loves are immortal, but the lifespan of these locks is not very long. They are removed every 3 months. I hope you enjoyed learning about the history of the Brooklyn Bridge. If you did, please let me know by hitting the like button and don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. See you on the next tourist attraction discovery. Goodbye.